Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCC Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing like a pseudo deck tech, talking about the Crouching Tiger cards that were revealed in the Tolarian Community College Starter Kit, or at least some of the ones that are spoiled so far. Kind of talk about the immediate upgrades that Crouching Tiger Katsu gets, and how I'm super excited to play this deck because we're going to get more cards, because I think the IRA in that kit is based around Crouching Tiger. But just with the cards that we've already gotten, there's some really cool interactions I want to talk about, some really basic ones that hopefully will help you make deck decisions. I'm not saying this deck is like a final deck and you should use it. It's definitely a frame of reference, but really this is just kind of get your thoughts as a community on some of these cards and talk about some of the cool interactions that they bring now. So if you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Feel free to check out my other videos. I do Flesh and Blood videos as well as Alpha Clash, and this month is really good for both of them. We've been doing almost pretty much a video a day. You can expect like 30-some videos this month, so it's going to be really, really good. If you're a long-standing supporter, thank you so much as always. Everyone, feel free to check out the Patreon and the Discord down below. So we have a couple cards here that were spoiled. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards that were spoiled in total. Not all of them directly relate specifically to Crouching Tiger archetypes, but I think they all have applications. I'm going to kind of talk about them. Now, they might not all be main decked, but they all have cool interactions that I think make this archetype a little bit more consistent. So let's talk about the one that's probably going to be the least main decked, which is Mask of Three Tails. It's an instant that says, destroy this, draw a card, activate this ability only if you have hit 3 or more times this combat chain. So I don't think this is better than Mask of Momentum or Mask of Pouncing Links by any means. However, one, it's a really cool card for Commoner because you're allowed to have rare equipment in Commoner. It's really nice for this. It's really good in general for budget players. When I first started out with Katsu, I used Hope Merchant's Hood for literally, 6 months before I bought my first Mask of Momentum. So for new players, this is going to be amazing. Like, to have this card's better than Hope Merchant's Hood. Like, this is basically a one-time use Mask of Momentum, and it's even better because it doesn't have to be 3 times in a row, technically. It's not better because it's not a continuous effect like Mask of Momentum is, but its effect in general is easier to get than Mask of Momentum is. So really, really cool. The one question I have about this is a rule clarification. Maybe my judge masters out here can kind of give me a little bit of rules clarification. But it says, destroy this, draw a card at instant speed. Activate this ability only if you have hit 3 or more times this combat chain. So it says 3 or more times this combat chain, so over the whole chain. Mask of Momentum says, when this attack action card you control hits, is a 3rd or higher chain link in a row. When an attack action card you control is a 3rd or higher chain link in a row to hit, draw a card. So Mask of Momentum specifically says 3 links or higher need to hit. This just says 3 times on the chain. So the interaction with Flick Knives, right? If I play Head Jab, it hits. I Katsu trigger. I go get Open the Center, just using a random line. And then I play Open the Center for 6 Dominate. You can't block it out. I activate Flick Knives in the reaction step. That technically counts as 3 hits. Yes, they're both on the same chain, but those are seen as different hits, right? They're seen on the same chain link, like it's not 2 chain links to hit, but it is 2 separate hits. So I wonder if that would then allow you to proc Mask of Three Tails. It's a really weird interaction, nothing that's going to be world-ending, but it's really cool to... I want to get some clarification on that ruling. So any level 1 or higher judges, just let me know, and also hopefully they come out with some rules clarification on it. So this one probably won't be main decked as much. Mask of Momentum and Pouncing Links I think are still better, but it's really, really good for star level equipment. Really helps newer players feel the power of Katsu a little bit quicker. Next one is Pouncing Paws. Okay, so this card, I don't think it is good as Snapdragon Scalers still, okay? But it's really close. And I also think that there's a way you can make your Crouching Tiger list where it is better than Snapdragon Scalers. And we'll kind of talk about some fun interactions with it. But it has Battle Worn 1, which I completely missed the first time that I looked at this card because I was so excited about new Katsu cards. And I was just looking at the ability. But its ability is instant. Destroy this. Create a Crouching Tiger in your banish zone. You may play it this turn. So this gives some cool interactions. One, the obvious one, is its interaction with Terry and Shuko. Terry and Shuko says, instant, destroy Terry and Shuko. The next Crouching Tiger you play this turn gets +2. This says, you can create a Crouching Tiger. So without even expending a card, you can destroy both of these at instant speed and play a 2-power Crouching Tiger. Is that the best thing to do? I wouldn't say that, but it's an interaction you can think of nonetheless, right? It has other interactions, right? You're able to give it give that Crouching Tiger. There's basically more ways, before we get into the next set of cards, there's more ways to buff Crouching Tigers now than there was before. Before these reveals, the only real way you could, you could have played Yellow Bittering Thorns in your deck, but you probably wouldn't. The only way to really buff Crouching Tiger beforehand was Head Leads the Tail if you ran it, which is a very actually recent card, right, in Outsiders. You could buff it through Razor if you have Razor to Crouching Tiger, which most people won't do. You can Ancestral it, which is honestly one of the better ways to do it. That's not Art of War or Roar of the Tiger. So Art of War, Roar of the Tiger were kind of the main ways. Then you had Ancestral. Then they added things like Head Leads the Tail, which is really good. You can now buff it with Conceal Blade, which is really good. You can use stuff like Blessing of Key and stuff, but people don't really use that. The main ways, most of the time, were Art of War, Roar of the Tiger, Ancestral Empowerment. And then we've had recent additions with Head Leads the Tail and now Conceal Blade. Now there's even more ways to buff it with cards like Growl and cards like Red Bittering Thorns, which are much more playable in this deck. So because of that, Pouncing Paws has a little bit more application because you're going to be able to buff that Tiger a lot more consistently. And on these super go-wide turns, it's really, really nice. But it's also really good in turns where, it might not be like a go-wide turn. It might be a turn where you're just trying to push as much damage as possible and threaten a lot, right? So I'll give an example. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you have a 3-card hand. You have a blue, a 0 cost, and Growl, right? Your 0 cost, we'll just say for this deck's sake, is a Head Jab, right? What you can do in this instance is you can Kadachi, however you want to sequence. Let's just say Kadachi. Then you would play Growl. Let's say they block the second Kadachi. You play Growl. They let Growl hit. Instant speed, create a Crouching Tiger in your banish zone, discard your Head Jab, go get Mauling Key, and then you're able to play that Crouching Tiger out for 1 because Growl gave it a +1, and then you're able to play Mauling Key for 5, threatening 6. So you just turned a hand that normally would have been 3, 6, 7, 8 damage into a 1, 2, plus 3 is 5, plus the Crouching Tiger is 6, plus Mauling Key is 11, potentially 12. So an 8 damage turn into a 12 damage turn. Yes, is that world ending by any means? No. But this Pouncing Paws is going to allow you to connect attacks a little bit better and potentially use cards like Mauling Key and other finishers that aren't Tiger Swipe to be a little bit more effective. You even could use it as a help you do a finish on Take the Tempo, right? Maybe they block that second Kadachi, and you want you have a Take the Tempo in hand, and you played. So, like, for example, exact same situation. Let's say you have a blue, you have Growl, and you have Take the Tempo, right? Take the Tempo. Let's say you Kadachi. They block the second Kadachi, and then you play Growl. They let Growl hit. You've hit twice now. Then you can play out the Pouncing Paws and then Crouching Tiger for 1, and then play Take the Tempo. It just allows you to extend plays a little bit more. Again, is it better than snaps? I don't know. But in decks like this, all my cards have Go Again. The only snap targets I have in this particular deck are Snatch, Take the Tempo, and Mauling Key. That's really it. And Salt the Wound, technically. But really, you're not snapping Salt the Wound a whole lot. But really, Mauling Key and Snatch and Take Tempo are mine. And most people don't even run Take Tempo. I just like the card. In most Tiger Katsu lists that you're going to see, Snatch and probably Mauling Key are your top 2 snap targets. So, if that's the case, why not run this where you can extend plays? And even on a big turn, off a Art of War Tunic into Roar of the Tiger turn, you're able to create one more Crouching Tiger, which can sometimes be the difference, right? If you have Art of War and Arsenal, and then your hand is Roar of the Tiger, Predatory Streak, let's just say a Head Jab is a 0 cost, and then anything, right? And then a blue. We'll just say a blue. You're able to Art of War off Tunic, discard that blue because you're not going to need it. Draw 2, play Roar of the Tiger, play Predatory Streak. You've now made 4 Tigers. They're all going to get +2. Then you play Pouncing Paws. Now you have 5 Tigers. You're just able to extend that, and now you're able to threaten Mask Momentum a lot more because and you're able to potentially have even a higher Salt the Wound turn. So Pouncing Paw is really interesting. I think in the right situation, in the right deck, playing it could be better, especially if you're going for a super go wide Tiger build where you're trying to have as many chain links as possible, then play Assault the Wound or something like that. This also can just compound on damage. If you play this off a Predatory Streak Roar the Tiger turn, you now have 5 Tigers, and if they don't block swipe properly, then you just made 5 more Tigers, which is, it just adds up. So I think it's really cool. And the fact that it has Battle Worn 1 is so nice. Like, I think there's a way where you could build the deck where it's better than Snapdragon Scalers, but we'll go from there. So speed up through here. Bittering Thorns is now a cycle. Again, like I just talked about, this card is super nice because it allows you to buff your Crouching Tigers even more. Now you can play cards even like Flex Claws more, and we'll talk about that in a second. But being able to not only buff normal cards, but buff your Crouching Tigers is going to be really nice for Bittering Thorns, and it hits a breakpoint. Growl, super nice. It's a 0 for 3 that buffs a Crouching Tiger, has really good synergy with Pouncing Paws, and it's just good in general. If you play, Pred Streak, and you can, at this point, you can play a yellow Pred Streak, which makes 2 Tigers, and then play Growl, saying, if this hits, or when this attacks, it doesn't even have to hit. The next Crouching Tiger you play gets +1. So you can play yellow Pred Streak into Growl, and one of those Tigers is going to be buffed, which is super, super nice, right? And then finally, Mauling Key. I like this card. I think this card is going to be really good at a 1 or a 2 of, even in a constructed deck, because what you'll find yourself with the Crouching Tiger archetype, if you play it a lot, is that there's not always, you don't always want to play Tiger Swipe, right? You might only make like 1 Tiger or 2 Tigers or something like that, and Swipe's going to get blocked because they have a lot of armor or whatever it may be. Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you just want to push damage, right? Especially when you start playing cards like Flex Claws, being able to go from that 1 Tiger to a 1 for 5 that on hit is going to be a 1 for 6 is super, super nice. And I think having a 1 or a 2 of it, it'll allow you to just have a finisher that's not Tiger Swipe, to where you can help whittle down their health total, have good efficiency and keep things going. So I think it's going to be good. Maybe a 1 of or a 2 of. I probably want to put it as a 3 of, but that's my thoughts on that. So that's the new cards. I will say the 1 card stock that went up the highest because of these new cards already is Flex Claws. What Flex Claws allows you to do, so before, the issue of Flex Claws is it says when this hits, create a Crouching Tiger in your banish zone. You may play it this turn. The problem was there wasn't really a way to buff that Crouching Tiger if you didn't have like Art of War or Roar the Tiger or something like that. So a lot of times you'd play this 1 for 4. If it hit, people don't care because that Crouching Tiger is going to come in from 0. It's going to break your chain link hits, and it's going to turn off Mask Momentum, right? But now that you have ways of buffing this, it makes it super nice, right? Now you can play, Flex Claws. Let's say they let it hit because they don't know that you have a way to buff your Crouching Tiger yet. It hits. Then you play Growl for 3. You buff that Tiger you just made with Flex Claws, and then you play the Tiger out, right? And then, depending on your hand, it comes up with a lot of cool interactions. This is why I think Mauling Key is a really good card now, is because let's just say, again, we'll make another scenario here. Let's say you have a 4-card hand. Your hand is Flex Claws, Growl, Mauling Key, and a blue. We'll just say a blue. We don't have to say a blue. It could be Assault the Wind, whatever. Enough to pitch for 2 1 costs. You pitch your Assault the Wound. You play Flex Claws. They let it hit. Then you make your Crouching Tiger. Then you play Growl for 3 go again, giving +1 to that Crouching Tiger. Then you play that Crouching Tiger for 1, and then you play Mauling Key for 5. Potentially 6. Or maybe you had to go get Mauling Key, which is fine too. Potentially 6 on hit. It allows you to extend plays and be able to create another chain link, right? And that really helps even in times where you have Salt the Wound and things of that nature. So I think Flex Clause's playability went a lot more up with the new additions here. So I'm super excited for this. I have a couple random cards in here that's like Take the Tempo you could take out. I think if you run Pouncing Paws, you don't play cards like Take the Tempo and Snatch. Maybe you play Snatch because it's 0 for 4 with an on hit. Take the Tempo probably wouldn't be played in a non-snaps list. But regardless, this archetype got a lot better, and I think it's going to get even better. I am super, super interested to try out Pouncing Paws. I think it actually has a lot of application depending on how you build the deck. Will it be a meta deck by any means? I don't know. But it's going to be a fun deck, and the deck's going to be better than it was before. And I think it creates... I think the issue with it was people were just playing around the big combo turn, and if that didn't work, you just lost. This creates an element of consistency of damage, these new cards that allow you to be just, more like 5, where like you're dropping 0 for 3, 0 for 4, 0 for 3, 0 for 2, constantly and just threatening a lot of damage, and being able to make your own Phoenix Flame, right, with more consistent Crouching Tigers. So I think that is going to be a lot better. If they give you I'm hoping that they give us 1 or 2 more finishers like Mauling Key that allow us to, play a more mid-range game plan until we hit our combo turn. Because this is an Ira style card, right? It has combo, it synergizes with Flick Flack, it blocks for 3, it's a 1 for 5, which off Ira can possibly be a 1 for 6, depending on when you play it. But it also has consistency in like a mid-range game plan where you have a lot of 3-block combo cards that synergize with Crouching Tiger, and then you're trying to whittle your opponent down until you play a big Tiger Swipe turn and really finish them off. So super excited about this deck. I'm going to be playing it once the TCC Tulane Community College kit comes out. Definitely, if you don't want to buy a kit, I don't think the singles are going to be super expensive. I really don't, especially Ninja. I don't think people are going to be as focused on Ninja as the other classes because there's a new Bard, a new Guardian, right? And Tulane Community College's actual hero. I think people are going to be focused on those cards. And I think the Ninja cards are actually going to be pretty cheap. So I don't think you have to worry about having to buy singles. So let me know what your thoughts are. I'm super excited about this. I actually think Terry and Shuko, I didn't talk about it, is really cool. You're able to buff Tigers up even more. Maybe have a 4 or 5 power Tiger, depending on how the turn goes. Really, really cool. Is it better than Breaking Scales? I don't think so, because you want to be able to threaten Tiger Swipe. But really, really cool regardless. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'd be interested to hear it. What you're excited about, what you'd like to see maybe in this archetype more. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much. Have a great day.